Peace. Okay, they want me to clarify some of the things I've been saying because I just want to clarify. Like I said, I'm making these videos for my kids to let them know what's up with me, where I'm at mentally, because basically some of them are aware of the story. You feel me? Like King Von, he made that song Crazy Story or whatever. And if you play it in reverse, he's talking about me. He's talking about my brother. He's talking about what was going on with my brother before he died. He was talking about Nipsey, because Nipsey and my brother Nelson was beefing. You feel me? They were beefing about me because my brother was on some other shit. He was basically, he knew that the family was fucking me over, and he was about to just enjoy the benefits of it instead of telling me what was good. He wanted me to stay asleep, and he wanted me to basically die without even knowing what the fuck going on. You feel me? And I guess they've been watching this shit. Or not so much they've been watching it, it's like they knew the story was going to happen, because Tupac told everybody what was going to happen. He told them, the basics of the story. And then when it started to happen, there's some people who know what's up with me. Like, they know my name. They knew my old name and shit like that. So they knew who I was, and they knew where to find me. So these motherfuckers been hacking into my phone, literally, in real life, hacking into my phone and watching me and watching my story, and also hacking into different people's phone around me, different people whose houses I stayed at, because I've been going through the shits ever since the police jumped on me in Virginia in 2008, 2009. I've been going through it. And so these people knew my story. You feel me? Somehow, some way, they was able to figure out where I was. But while I was gone from Seattle, traveling or whatever, and I did it for damn near 12 years or something like that. I was gone for a long time. I was, coming back to visit and shit, but I didn't live in Seattle for a long time. There was people living in Seattle, specifically my older sister, a fat bitch, which she's not really my real sister, but she was living in Seattle, living like me, meaning her name was popping up on my credit report where she lived and shit. They had electricity bill and all kind of shit set up in my name. They were acting like they were me. So she's real nasty, filthy, like a fucking animal. She lived like an animal. Her house was real dirty, filthy. Don't ever do her dishes and shit like that, which is a sign of demonic possession. You feel me? But she was trying to act like she was me, and I guess my brother had woke up or whatever, and he let him know that's not really Tammy. That's the other one. That's the fat one. And then there's some other people in my family, based on the description of these motherfuckers, I know who they're talking about. So he didn't want to let me know, and they was beefing about that shit. And that Nipsey was really in that ass. You feel me? Talking that shit. If you listen to the song Ocean Views and you listen to it backwards, he's telling Nelson. He's saying, Nelson, you bitch ass nigga. And I was laughing when I heard it because the shit was funny. It was like, you bitch ass nigga, this ain't no funny shit, nigga. This is my mom, nigga. You playing games, nigga. We about to fuck you up, nigga. And it was talking shit. So like, when my brother had his stroke, I stayed in the hospital with him for 2 weeks straight. And there was an incident. His best friend had brought me, or he had came up there to the hospital or something like that. I can't remember. We went and did something, and then we came back, because I stayed there, spent the night at the hospital every day, because I didn't want nobody doing nothing to my brother, because I knew he couldn't talk right. He was saying weird shit out of his mouth. Like, instead of saying yes, he was saying no, shit like that. So when his best friend was leaving, the dude was like, I love you, bro. And my brother said back, I hate you too. I was like, damn, like, well, what if this nigga saying what's really on his mind versus, what the fuck he really thinking? I mean, not what he's really thinking, but maybe he's saying how he really feel and he been fronting. You feel me? And I'm just gonna say it because I don't like to talk about people, especially not the motherfuckers I love. But he would talk a little shit and be a little hater sometimes when he'd be talking about his homeboy, you know, throughout the years. You realize when somebody kind of hating a little bit. And not saying they may or may not have reason to, but you could just tell because they be talking shit, but this be their friends. And, you know, when they be around family and other people, they be talking shit. So he used to talk a lot of shit about people. And they basically let me know nigga was talking a lot of shit about my ass too. And I'm sitting up there crying and sitting with him, you know, and loving him and shit. That's my baby brother, as far as I know, you know, at that time. So about a year after he had his stroke, and he was on some other shit. Like, the family was telling him, oh, don't listen to her, because I set up for him to have a voice, what do you call that? For him to get speech therapy and shit, so he could get, you know, talk, because the nigga talk hella fast like a Geechee. Talk hella fast and said hella shit. He was funny and shit and very articulate. And when he had a stroke, he couldn't really do that, but he was still able to move around and, you know, fucking do shit, like go back to work or whatever. But he couldn't really talk, or sometime when he would say stuff, it would be the opposite of what the hell he really meant to say. So I was like, nigga, that's kind of dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to go get some therapy on that shit. And the family was like, fuck her, she don't know what she's talking about, she just trying to be up in your business, woo, woo, woo. And he acted like he kind of had a problem with me trying to handle his business. And then one day, he came to me, you know, I was at his baby mama house, and he came over there, and he told me, he was like, you know, thank you for staying with me at the hospital. And that was the first time he ever thanked me for basically having his back. And I just remember I had this sensation come over the top of my head, and it was just like tingling, and I just felt good. And I told him thank you. And, you know, we wasn't really looking each other in the eye or nothing, but I said thank you and shit and left it alone. I was just, you know, like, dang, finally he admitted, like, I'm the only motherfucker that had his fucking back and shit. So as I'm listening to these songs, and I don't really want to tell the story because it made my brother look kind of bad, but I'm going to tell it anyway because it is what it is, and it's the stories they're telling, and I want people to know that. I don't want to walk by this dog barking and shit. I want people to know the story that they're telling. It's about my brother Nelson, and I'm Ta, and you know, they were calling me Tamara, and there was people in my family still in my identity actually living under my name and acting like they were me, and I was gone in a whole nother state. You feel me? So I didn't have my address changed to these other states or nothing. The only way I was able to prove that shit wasn't me is that on my credit report, them addresses I was living at, because I had an apartment and everything in Virginia, you know? I was living in a house in North Carolina. That shit was on my credit report, them addresses and stuff. So they was like, okay, bitch, you wasn't there for real. And I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? So I just wanted to talk about that story to confirm what these brothers be saying. Because NBA YoungBoy, he be talking about it, you know, and these niggas is upset. You feel me? Like, you play this shit backwards, and these niggas is upset with the nigga Nelson. Upset with him, like on some other shit. And I couldn't figure out like what exactly they was talking about, but I had to just admit, like, my brother talked a lot of shit about people, and I don't really know what the fuck he was up to. I just know he's my brother, my baby brother, and I love his motherfucking ass, and I didn't give a fuck what nobody had to say about him for real, period. But not really realizing that, you know, yeah, this nigga probably did know some shit, and they definitely needed him to continue on with the fraud that they were doing. And they let me know at one point, like right before he died, it was some money that's supposed to be dispersed, and instead of giving it to me like it was supposed to be, he was going to keep on letting them steal my identity and say fuck it and go along with it, and then he ended up dead. And something fucked up happened to my brother. His death was fucked up. And then I was in my apartment going through the shits, and they let me know, your brother was into some shit. He was fucking with some motherfuckers. Like, he had a problem with Jesus. You feel me? Like, he had studied some shit, and he just had a problem with Jesus. He was running around arguing with people about their faith and religion, arguing with people on the internet, just doing all kind of shit. And I was like, oh hell, he didn't got his conscience, and he on this bullshit these other motherfuckers be on. That's why I tell people, you better watch who you pledge your allegiance to, because you never know what the fuck you into. And if you don't have Jesus to help you, you're gonna have a demon jump in your ass. So I'm gonna say this, because my brother dead in the flesh. His spirit is running around here, and that's what they let me know. The nigga's smart, and he aware of the shit that I'm going through right now, because he was going through it, but he also had other shit going on with him, because like I said, he was trying to get into the esoteric side of everything, and he was fucking around with people and spirits and entities he didn't know nothing about. And the bitch he was fucking with, her mom had basically went crazy and shit, fucking with some babalao, and her, basically this girl family is into that goddamn witchcraft type shit or whatever the fuck they into. So they was doing spells and shit and trying to act like that's not what the fuck they was doing. You feel me? And so there's a video that I uploaded, and my brother was talking, and in his words, because when you speak, especially when you talk real fast and you got geeky shit going on with you, you could be saying 4 or 5 things at once. In that video, I watched it again recently. I'm like, this nigga is saying some fucked up shit. He talking to Beelzebub, like literally. And that's what them niggas are saying, that they see him, they can see what he doing. Snoop Dogg, all them niggas, if you play the music backward, they talking about my brother, they talking about what he was into, and they basically letting me know he sold me out. And then at some point, like either right before he died or after he died, he really realized that I really, really loved him, and that he made a mistake. But that nigga was like a funny dude. He always liked to tell jokes, and always want to be the type of nigga to jump out and scare your ass and shit like that. Thinking that shit funny. And you be like, how it is when somebody scare you. You be like, fuck that. You'd be like, and then they be laughing, and you be like, man, damn near made me have a heart attack, nigga. That shit ain't as funny as you think it is. And I guess it's something like that going on now. So what Nipsey did is he kind of figured it out. Because I guess when my grandma died, 3 months before my brother did, and they let me know my grandma basically, or one of my grandmas, I don't really know if it was her, I'm just assuming it's her, because they ain't really said no names per se, but let Nipsey know, like, her brother really loved her. That nigga was possessed and fucking with some shit. A lot of us in this family possessed. They did some shit and released some spirits into the family, and it basically fucked everybody up. And so I just wanted to put that truth out here, or let's say King Von wanted me to put it out here, because I know it. I just don't be talking about it on the internet, because that's my brother. I don't say nothing bad about my brother, because I love my brother, and they realize that this bitch is loyal. It don't matter what a motherfucker did. She gonna forgive them, because she gonna be able to see different aspects of it. But that don't mean we ain't gonna keep a nigga up off of her. So that's basically what I wanted to say, and let it be known. Yeah, Nipsey helps me, and it's a spiritual war going on, and a lot of people don't know what the fuck they got themselves into. You kind of don't know what your spirit is out here doing. Once you enter into the spirit realm, you don't really know what kind of shit you're revealing. You feel me? And then too, if somebody that got some money find out your name and find out where you are, where your address is, like they always say, nigga, where your address, where you at, that mean they can fucking come see what you do in your life, and they're gonna be able to figure out, like, damn, this is what the fuck going on. Because them people in my family been, they call themselves being in the Illuminati or whatever, or into secret societies in real life. This ain't what I'm guessing, this is real life. So these bitches basically had me up for some kind of sacrifice. And the motherfuckers was like, no, not this bitch. You feel me? Not her. You better pick another motherfucker to sacrifice because we know her. Because she floating around in the spirit realm telling everybody shit because she older the motherfucker. Just because she's in this body, you know, that don't mean that's all she is. But the things that she's gone through in this lifetime, we know. So we know her story. And when we come across her, we gonna know, you know, that that's her. And like I said, they put me through tests. Try not to make this video too long because they'd be cutting off my video, but they put me through tests. You feel me? Like spiritual tests. And I'm talking about these brothers that's alive. The ones that's dead, they already know what the fuck it is. And then some of them that's alive, they didn't have to put me through no test because they already knew who I was. And that's what it is. That's this concludes this part of the video. I'm putting this out here for my kids and let them know, babies, I hear you. I love you, my babies. And be safe. Stay elevated. Stay up. And it's almost over with. So it's almost over with. That's all I can say right now. That's Nipsey. My baby Nipsey. That nigga don't be like niggas make me say shit. Alright, y'all. Peace.